It's finally time, fellow people, for another music video. Today we're gonna listen to Shining Moments with the Shining Moment. Shining Moment. I thought it was Shining Moments, but okay, I guess. Oh, that's nice. You also hear how light and thin this sounds. This is a contrast to the previous songs, I would say, because they were really thick and symphonic and all of that stuff. And here we just have these really thin layers of simple piano chords, a little bit of guitar and drums, and we immediately get this sunny, shining feeling in the very beginning. I also appreciate those super high quality 8K 3D environments here. They're absolutely not pixelated. They had to put a dust filter and I think like lens flares over it just to mask it a bit. But okay, I don't know if like a full 3D environment here was the best choice, but then again, it kind of has that campy Galneryus charm we all know and love. So power to you. Also the shining here, right? Very obvious. Those were some really nice arpeggios in the beginning also. Yeah, that's really comfy in a way. Yama B rocking that bandana. Oh sheesh, what's happening? That chorus hits. Maybe it's like similar to that Chasing the Wind thing, but I think it's a really nice melody. It creates a very nice soundscape. And since they're doing this not all the time, but it's just those single songs they put out sometimes, I think it's very nice. You can't just like lean back. What's happening though? He's Naruto. Oh, that's nice, the running animation. Come on, hit it. Oh, yes. Yuto with the hat. That was a cool shot. Yo. Oh, dude, I love this song, man. That was such a nice solo. I think I can just say, like, the whole song sounds very sunny, but they also did a very nice job with the synth, like Yuki and stuff, to explore this theme even further. Also, in the video, we've seen some elements we, I think, experienced later on. We had a throwing kill, which we had in, how was that called? The Reason We Fight, right? And also this, I'm getting slain, but I'm getting up again, I'm grasping my sword again. That's, of course, like a very notorious scene in Raise My Sword, which I'm very excited for as well. And just like as a side note, Shu's haircut here, he's going for the short look, but is that actually the first time he has dyed his hair in this orange blonde type of tone? I mean, that might be an obsolete detail, but there has to be a certain transitional point. I think it might be in this album. Earlier, he had natural, at least darker hair, right? And after that, he's gone for the more blonde look. I don't know about you, but the song isn't that long and the solo was really nice. So let's just watch that epic fight again. And the chorus with the organ, it sounds very nice. He's taking out the steam a bit. Right, you also have this very threatening scene. He's on his knees, like it's a hopeless situation, but all they're doing is taking the speed out. It's still this very pleasant sound. It's very positive in a way. I think mixed in with a certain melancholy which comes in here, but I think it's mostly positive. So it's kind of interesting to connect this with a hopeless situation like that. It's almost as if he's gaining the power from the sun, which is also, I think, an element which happens here. We have Shu's shining guitar there, but also like he's illuminated by the sun. That's what the music does here. That's essentially the function of the solo, I think. Yo, I love those chords. Coming back with a power metal. Right here we have the lens flare, and also here. Let's go. Those chords are also really nice here. The drums coming in, let's go! Going for the halftime. Tell me if I'm wrong, as far as I know, there was nothing cut from this song. It already has that pop song type of structure, at least enough to be completely included in the video. It's kind of charming, and as a whole product, like the video and the song, it does achieve a certain look and feeling. When did this come out? I think like 2008. This is when I was 10 or 11 years old. Back then I would have really liked that with the 3D animations and everything, but now we have just like this very pixelated look. I don't even know. It's so much that I actually think it might be intended. Very interesting choice, I would say. But all in all, that's just another very nice song. It diverges from the earlier songs of the album, but it still also has this characteristic Galneryus note. So we're in a really nice territory here. This is a really easy to listen to song. I really like it. This was, of course, already featured on the Shining Moments single, and there's a lot of Japanese, so we have to translate that. I would just assume this is another like memory nostalgia related song, just because it really sounds like that. As you might have figured out over the past episodes, I don't know, maybe not, but this is one of my favorite themes in general, and I think it seems to be a very important theme for them as well. Each time we pass by, I drown in loneliness. Somewhere along the way, I lost my honesty. Even when I heard you without reason and tears fall. Though all I can do is look away. I search for warmth that can never be mine. That might be the pre-chorus, because after that follows the chorus. Well, let's just unpack that for a little bit. I think the key line here is I search for warmth that can never be mine. What we had over the past few songs, I think there was one theme which seems to be conflict, like not physical conflict, but rather interpersonal conflict. We have this here, for example, even when I hurt you without reason and tears fall. So we have this type of fight or argument. This might also be reflective of the state, the internal state of the band members. I mean, they split up after that. Maybe that also was an artistical attempt to deal with this dynamic, but that's just speculation here, of course. Think this line here, I search for warmth that can never be mine. I am aware that there should something in our interactions and relationships, but I just don't have that, and it feels like I can't have that. And now I'm noticing that each time we pass by, I drown in loneliness. And then we're all excited for the chorus. Shining moments until that day comes when they may shine. Defining movement for the heart that was lost. I'll shine the light of atonement. Very abstract here, of course. Defining movement for the heart that was lost. This is also what we had in the verse. There is something which had been lost, and defining movement, I just think like movement, in the sense of moving on. And this might also be part of that nostalgia element. Something has been lost and it's a thing of the past. And even if there's conflict and problems and all of that stuff, I'll shine the light of atonement, at least in this song, or at least in the chorus of this song. We create a certain shining moment with this song. I kind of like the idea that this is a macro kind of thing. Yes, the days of suffering can never be healed. Those repeated words pierced my heart. Even when I try to move forward, the path ahead remains unseen. If my feelings were to melt away once more, they might vanish and disappear. We have certain pains of the past, and there's just a awareness, right? That those repeated words, we're constantly reminded of that, and that apparently pierced my heart. And I'm completely clueless if this is like meant in a positive or negative way. If my feelings were to melt away once more, they might vanish and disappear. Does that mean if there's another catastrophic breakdown that I might lose all feeling altogether, like in a bad way? Or does that mean if I would be just able to melt those feelings away, then I would be free of them and things would be better? That's not entirely clear here. Maybe in Japanese, just in case anyone wants to try their luck with interpreting that in the original language. Shining moments as your eyes paint them until the day you shine. Defining movement for the heart that believes. I'll shine the light of atonement. I do like the imagery. Shining moments as your eyes paint them until the day you shine. This might be a certain idea of glimpses of shining moments, right? So it's those it's moments, because you just get these short ideas or visions of a time where things are better than they're now, like of certain happy moments, but you know it's not now reality. You just have this vague feeling that it could be reality in the future. And this is where the movement comes in, right? We have to move on to potentially reach those moments. For the heart that believes. This might be, I think there was a bridge in there. In a town where fake smiles fly around, I'm just blending in with everyone else, even if I'm disliked, even if I'm not accepted. Just don't forget that I'm here. Yeah, we have a certain theme of disconnect here. Fake smiles fly around everyone else. So there is social construct, there is people, not a city. It's not, it's not as impersonal as it sometimes is in a city. It's a town where one could assume that people at least vaguely know each other. And the point of prioritization is also interesting here. Even if I'm disliked, even if I'm not accepted, which I think is usually important for most, just don't forget that I'm here. At least don't do that. At least don't make me like disappear into nothingness because there is just a lack of connection with like literally anyone. That's kind of what I get from this so far. So it is actually kind of sad and melancholic, although sounds rather sunny and in a way comfy. I really like the mix. So there's 2 times the chorus, shining moments as your hands allow until the day you shine. Until that time, defining movement. For the heart that lost its way, I'll shine the light of atonement. I don't know if it's the same thing as the first time. As your hands allow until the day you shine. Maybe that's new. First your eyes painted that, and now as your hands are able to create that. That's another different thing. It's not just imagination at this point, it's what you can create of that, right? You're having those visions of those shining moments and you're actively working toward making them a reality. I think that's the idea here. Shining moments as your eyes envision until the day you shine. And this last thing, I think they sang together, or at least several layers of Yamabi sang that. We are facing the future. We are caught in the pain. That's why we will always search for shining moments. We're facing the future. We are caught in the pain. I'll find shining moments. They picked those bits out of the song, basically. We are facing the future, which is unknown, but we still are stepping into the future. We are still caught in the pain. That's just like very general, but it was characterized a lot here in the song, so we have an idea of this at this point. That's why we will always search for shining moments. You know, it's not those realities, but it's those glimpses you get throughout the process. And that's all that can help us to keep moving, basically. And that's also cool how that ends with I'll find shining moments. I can't be sure and I cannot claim this idea of making all of that a reality, all of those visions, but just I'll keep on finding those moments at least. So there's a bit of a bittersweet element in this. But yeah, just like generally, I really like the mood of the song and the themes and all of that. And Galneryus is just sometimes very good at making those feelings concise in a very coherent song, which is very well put together with all of those elements. So who wrote Shining Moments? It was written by Yamabi and Leda. They called him Yuto in the beginning. I think now he goes by Leda. I mean, okay, I see that. We had a bit of Shu in there, at least in the solo. Obligatory at this point, to be completely honest, but cool that there's something a bit different in it. And it's also cool that this single, that the title song of this is actually not composed by Shu at all. Yeah, I appreciate it a lot. I hope you like the song. And this, of course, very high quality, very nice video. It does well enough to communicate the important themes, I think, even if it's a bit cheesy and very pixelated. They just didn't have the budget. It's nice that they're experimenting with all of that stuff. So hope you'll have some shining moments after this as well. See you next week with the next song. I don't know what that song is, but we will see.